Recently, I fell victim to a scam. Been working for a long time, making about six figures. So I make good money, but unfortunately I wanted to do some type of investment and try to get into a better situation. And I thought I could trust the guy, and he kind of led me astray, costing me hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I just feel like I'm at a point where I'm drowning, and I'm just trying to stay above water.
My name is Romain, and for the past 10 years, I've been on a quest to tackle America's toughest personal finance situations. Leveraging my Ivy League master degree and personal experience, I've found solutions for what seems impossible. In 1 year, you can completely be in a different spot. Are we ready to take action?
Yes.
Will this be the one I cannot solve? Let's see what happens. Just a couple years ago, you were making bank. I mean, I could see history on your credit score at over 700. You were making between $80,000 and $100,000. You were having the perfect life. But then you start wanting to increase your salary by diving into the world of investment. But you meet the wrong person. At the time, though, that wasn't what you thought of.
Absolutely not. I thought I was doing good in life. I thought I was making great decisions. I thought I was elevating. And as I'm growing, I wanted to get into something even bigger. And that kind of led me to, be a victim of trying to be a judge of good character. And now I'm in the situation I'm in.
Walk me through, what was those events? What happened here?
He connected with some people in San Diego. They were running an e-commerce business, and he presented me with the opportunity, which I thought was a good opportunity, to invest in the e-commerce store. And then basically they saw my credit profile, and they felt that I was going to be eligible for funding. So they started to build a relationship with me. So they started to come out to Las Vegas. We had a business dinner to talk about, the details, the company, the investments, the kind of money that they were making. They showed me numbers, right? They showed me partners that they partner with. We partied, we went to the club, spent thousands of dollars on tables and throwing money. And, they made it seem real, we're really going to start doing some good business together. And so that led me to feel like I was trusting them. They invited me to San Diego. I saw where they hang out. I saw their neighborhood, saw the way that they were moving, driving the nice cars, exotic cars. And so, of course, I'm feeling like, okay, I'm in good hands here. This is a good choice. So then they basically led me to get an auto loan of $60,000. They were supposed to cover the payments for the length of that auto loan while we're doing the investment. I was supposed to get a 70% return on my initial $48,000 investment.
So wait, so just because the fact that already they asked you to take an auto loan on a car that you actually would not buy, right? It was an e-commerce investment. They wanted to lower your rate. How did this whole shenanigans kind of work through? It was, wasn't that a red flag when that was proposed to you?
If I was educated on it at that time, it would have definitely been kind of a red flag. But to me, it was a way around getting a personal loan. It was a way of lowering the payment, making things a little bit more tangible, a little bit more attainable. So I didn't think much of it. And plus, I thought, I could trust these guys. I went to college with one of the guys. We lived together for a whole 2 years. So I didn't think that he would, do me the way that they did me. And so I was like, okay, we'll go through with it. We'll go through with it. We'll follow the plan.
So you get a first loan of $60,000.
$60,000.
I believe $12,000 was a commission taken by the guy that helped do the underwriting aspect. Right. So total investment, $48,000 on your side.
$48,000.
And for the first couple months, as you mentioned, payments were coming through. Everything looked nice, right?
Everything looked good. They were sending the payments on time, and the loan was getting paid off. I wasn't getting hit with any late payments, so things seemed good.
And because things were looking so good, the bank was like, oh, this guy is doing great. Let's give him some more money.
100%. Credit was looking good.
And so that's what you did.
That's what I did. Then they led me to get another $40,000 in the loans to do another investment for another potential return. And so I, not thinking much of it, I went through with that.
So now at this point, they handle $100,000 for you, with only showcasing about $6,000 of monthly payment back. And it starts to get a little bit tricky. But not only that, but now you're also starting to involve your partner at the time.
Correct. I had a girlfriend at the time who I was with. for about 2 3 years. They had met her as well. They talked to her about it. She was also kind of interested, and then so she actually invested $20,000 of her own money, and this was not a loan; it was her own savings that she worked and she saved for.
So this was at the time the one for you. You guys were 2 years together, but an incident kind of arose and shook a little bit everything.
Absolutely, we were together for a good 2 3 years. I known her since middle school. She was the one for me. She was the one that kind of matched my energy. And then in 2022, once all of this stuff kind of was happening, and then after they got the investment from her as well, she unfortunately got into an accident, and she's no longer here.
So everything kind of falls on you at that point, and you're trying to reach out to those partners, but excuses start flowing through.
Yep, I'm trying to reach out to them, trying to see if we can get some type of resolution, some type of plan. Am I going to get paid
Because you're no
for
longer
this?
receiving the monthly payment.
I'm no longer receiving the payments. As soon as I was supposed to get my investment, my return, some money back in my pocket, the communication started to get a little choppy. They weren't sending any more money. They kept giving me excuses. Something happened with the merchant account. Something happened here and there. And it just became an excuse game.
And this has been pretty much going on now for months and months. And early on, you were helping with some of the payments, thinking that, things were going to resolve.
After that stopped, I tried to, I'm working 2 3 jobs at the time, trying to, keep everything afloat. And then so I'm trying to keep up the monthly payments. And not only that, I don't want my credit to get ruined, right? I work so hard to get, to that level. I don't want all that to go to, just to go down the drain. So I was trying to keep up with the payments, and then
You let it drop.
I had to drop it. It just came too much.
And on top of that, now, because your lifestyle became so expensive, and with pretty expensive, they converted that debt into personal loans, you've also started to accumulate on credit card debts.
Absolutely. When all that happened, I was in the process of moving, so I had to cover moving costs. I had to buy furniture, everything like that. And I started using my credit cards. I had to use my credit cards to kind of keep afloat. And then that led me to accrue large amount of credit card debt as well. So that was another situation. So everything's just been kind of piling on top of me, and I just feel like I'm drowning at this point. Not only do I have all these collections and the debts blowing up my phone, trying to get a hold of me. I went through the college system. We all know that's an expensive system, especially if you have to do student loans and whatnot. So I got the student loan debt on top of the credit card debt, on top of the scams. And I'm not sitting there being lazy. I'm not just not doing anything. I've been working 2 3 jobs most of my whole life. Right now I have 2 or 3 jobs still. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to just stay above water. I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to find a way to get through it, And so I'm here with you, and I'm hoping, I'm sharing my story with the world, and I'm hoping that there's some hope left, some way out of the situation I'm in.
I already have some thoughts as to how we can bring it together. But before we dive into that, let's look at the specifics of your financial situations. Let's dive into numbers, income, and asset. Leveraging your master degree in social work, how much is that paying you per year right now?
So that salary is about $90,000.
90,000. On top of that, you also do some form of consultancy or at-home care. How does that consist of?
Correct. I also provide at-home services, mental health services to children in the foster care services industry. That pays me about $13,000, I would say.
Extra. Mm-hmm. That's kind of W9 type of work.
Correct.
And finally, you also work during the weekends. What do you do?
During the weekends, I also do security at night, Encore Beach Club.
One of the biggest nightclub here, also one of the most luxurious. So hopefully it's not too bad. You're not in the dumps. But how much do you make from that?
Hourly, we get paid about 21.
21. How many hours a weekend do you work?
Averaging about 15.
So pretty much an extra $10,000 to $12,000 per year. Does that seem fair?
Yes.
Okay, so you're working over 80 hours a week right
Correct.
now. Wow. Together, that brings your total income at 30 years old at $113,000. Net per month about $7,700. Does that seem fair?
Yeah.
Looking at your statement, it looks like it's aligned with what you've been making. And on the personal aspect right now, I believe that you're single.
Correct.
How, if I may ask you, how have you been able to mentally recover from the loss of what you see was your forever partner. I mean, that's an event that no one can kind of get ready at such a young age. You guys were together for a couple years. How has been that recovering journey briefly?
It was definitely a long grieving process. I would say the last 2 years or so, I spent a lot of time just kind of working on me, trying to just put more energy into myself and just really appreciating life. You know, life is short. We never know when our last moments are going to be. So, you know, I try to just take advantage of it and make the best of it.
Yeah, I mean, you're coming still with, your head on your shoulder, despite the financial life, the personal life. Things are kind of in the red on you right now, but you're still showing up strong. So, I have a ton of respect for you on that front. But again, you're showing and applying your degrees towards something that's paying you up. Looking at the median in the United States for people in your age bracket between 25 and 34, the median is at 51,000. You're doubling that in an affordable city of Las Vegas. You're not speaking about LA. We're not speaking about New York. So congratulations on that front. You're doing really good.
Appreciate that.
Now, let's see how that converted into money on your accounts. Well, my dear friend, you don't have as many accounts as we would like, despite your income. Today, you're showing up with one checking account with a balance of $481. Last month, you had about $9,100 coming in, but you spent $9,000 out. We're speaking on the specifics of your expenses. That is pretty much your liquid cash. I could see some transactions from like Acorns, Robinhood Securities. Do you still have money on those?
No, those have been depleted within the last month or so. Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of are using the little savings that you had, and now you're pretty much finding yourself with that's it. That's it. What other assets do you have?
I have my car. I got a little bit left in the 401k.
Okay, let's start with the car first. What do you drive?
BMW 535i, 2016.
Okay, you're pulling the BMW. That's an expensive car. I mean, an expensive car on the maintenance and on the miles per gallon. Maybe not the preferable aspect.
Yeah.
How many miles on it?
About 106,000 at the moment.
100. The car value is at 13,123. And as you will find, you are quite underwater on this one too. But you also have a retirement account, a 401k that you, at some point though, did withdraw some money. Today left on it is about 1,100 or so. You've kind of been pulling all the ropes that you can to survive for expenses, my friend, that are not preferable. We'll be speaking on that. Any other form of assets?
No, not
Any money coming in, like a parent, a relative, anything?
No.
You're on your own.
On my own.
Total assets at 30 years old, 14,704. Cash, 481. So that, my friend, is quite tricky, okay? But that's the situation today. We breathe, we acknowledge, we move on. Let's see how you've been spending your money now, together in your expenses and your debt. Let's start with your expense. How much do you spend on rent per month right now?
About total with and utilities included, about $1,880.
That's not bad. Pretty much a one bedroom.
One bedroom.
Okay. And you mentioned that is with utilities, so that brings your current housing expense at 24% of your income. We like it to be below 28. You're doing good. Jackpot on that front. Let's not touch that. Good to go.
Okay.
Now, let's speak about transportation. So, your car, you have a loan that I see of $23,733. Interest rate 7.9%. Monthly payment $584. That brings you on right now on your car. You're currently underwater by $10,600. How the hell are you underwater that much on that car? What happened?
I have not a clue.
When did you buy it?
I got it in April of 2022, I believe.
How much did you buy it for?
I think total finance was about 35.
How many miles did it has?
75,000 at the time. Yeah.
Hold on, where did you buy this shit?
I was at a dealership.
Like a big one?
Mm-hmm.
You bought it also at the peak of used price cars too.
I did.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that purchase?
I mean, I like the car. Obviously, it's good aesthetics wise, but obviously not the best financial decision by far. A used car, foreign car, expensive maintenance,
Yep.
high interest rate. It's just yeah.
Yep, that's rough, man. Okay, all right. On top of that, I could see some of your history. Your insurance per month up to $380 a month.
Yeah. From my last car, I had a total loss, and that kind of played a factor into my insurance. And then they decided to hike the rates recently as well. So
Did you call to negotiate?
on my insurance,
Yeah.
I didn't know I couldn't.
Of course, my friend. Are you kidding me? I came here to Las Vegas. My 6 months premium was $1,000. At my renewal, they quoted me $1,800. I said, "Screw you, scammers! I'm going somewhere else." I got another quote at $3,600. And I was like, "Yes, you guys are in business. I love that. Screw you again." I kept going quote, and now I'm at $976
Oh wow.
for the same coverage. You just have no freaking loyalty.
Right.
I don't give a damn about loyalty. I just want best price for best coverage. And there is an option now that I will invite people to also look into. It's called Accident Forgiveness Premium. It's a couple dollars for a 6 months policy, and it grants you, if you are at fault, that it doesn't impact your insurance negatively. But generally, if you're not at fault, although the accident does come on your report, it shouldn't be detrimental to your insurance price. But always negotiate on everything.
Starting to learn
And
that.
not with them. I mean, sometimes you can negotiate with them, but just benchmark every single one. I just bounce all over the place for the one that's going to give me the greatest price and for the greatest coverage. I don't discount on my coverage. I just want to play because $380 on a $13,000 car. In 3 years, you've paid the full price of the car. Of course, you're not just paying for the car coverage, you're paying for everything else. But and on top of that, given that your car is a gas guzzler, you're spending $300 of gas. Not at the best places. You buy a freaking Chevron and so mid-tier and so on. So you're paying premium on that shit. Total spent on your car, $1,124. It is 15% of your income. We like it to be at 15%. So you're really good on it. Why? But that's because you make good money. But it's a bad deal. Honestly, it's a bad deal. Your car has over 100,000 miles. You're minus 10,000 on it, and you're spending on things that don't really give you much back, right? You're not leveraging these assets. It's a depreciating asset. So it's a kind of loss. You're losing on all of it. Next one. Phone. You're spending $175 on your phone. How is this possible?
I think I just have the all unlimited plan.
Yeah. So cut any of that BS. Cut. You can have Mint Mobile. No sponsored. They're pretty good. I'm in with T-Mobile's. It's okay. I get about $50 or so. But $175. Like, come on.
Ridiculous.
Now, follow along as this is going to be a pretty wild ride. We've mentioned the car, $23,000. Now, we look at the specifics of the personal loans that you've taken, one of 60 grand, one of 44,462. So those are the two that are in collections. Right now, I mean, interest is not really stacking as much on those. The interest rate was about 7.9% or so. But how often do the collection calls you on it?
Daily.
Do you answer the phone?
No.
How do you know it's the collections?
Sometimes they leave voicemails talking about they're from a certain enterprise or something like that.
So
I have an
you're
idea.
falling through the collection hell. And this has definitely impacted your credit score. Just a couple months ago, it was 540. You're paying right now $120 a month to have a credit agency helping you up. They bulked that up to $600. I think it's useless right now.
Absolutely.
to have them.
I canceled it, yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to do anything because we're going to have to go very drastic. You will see what I'm about to recommend. So here, $104,462 on that scam. When was the last time that those guys reached out to you or you reached out to them?
One of the guys blocked me on social media, so I don't even have his contact anymore. But the other guy who was mostly involved with it,
You didn't have any contract or anything?
we did have a contract. We did have contracts in place, which why I also thought it was.
So you have a
actually-
legal step on it if you wanted to, if the company still exists and so on, or maybe they just crafted that company just for you and then killed it. You can search, the California's government website and see if their LLC is still on upstanding. I mean, you could potentially have a case here. If the contract was valid, did you work with it with a lawyer and made sure that you were protected?
No, like I said, I thought I knew the people. They put up a good front. So I thought I was a good judgment of character, but obviously not. So yeah, we have a contract in place, but in terms of legal action, I figured that would just be more cost to me, and I'm already
the
drowning
resources
in
for it. So I'm sorry, the question: are you still in contact with them?
Last time I heard with him was about a month ago.
Oh, okay. What did he say?
The same excuses. I should have something planned out, something figured out within the next 2 to 3 weeks. I'll definitely reach out to you and let you know what the next steps are, kind of thing. So I've just been trying to follow up, trying to get something because I feel like I have no other recourse.
Okay. What a disappointing experience, huh? We've learned from many. I got scammed too, not to that amount, but I guess everybody kind of falls under that. What's the most tricky aspect of it is that they knew exactly what they were doing before it, because the fact that they have paid for you for a couple months, knowing that it would present well to the bank for you to take an additional loan and double dip on you, dude, that's vicious.
Target.
They know what they're doing. Freaking assholes. Okay, so let's see, because that's not the only thing. As we mentioned previously, you've also stacked up on student debt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different student loans ranging from $2,176 to $23,247, most of which are over $10,000. Total student debt federal today, $122,666. Thanks God that those are actually federal, because if you were private, you would be in a dump again. So right now, I don't see any payment on a monthly basis on your student loans. How have you been able to navigate that? Because when they see your income, usually they will, naturally, I'm surprised that they haven't been asking you for money. How have you been able to pull that off?
Unfortunately, but fortunately, with the pandemic situation, there was like student loan repayment pauses and stuff. So that kind of helped me stay afloat for a while. And then I had a deferment that was lasting after I graduated with my master's. So that was helping out. But then once they reactivated the payments, my payments were about $570. I think they were trying to get from me a month. So now I have another deferment that ends probably February, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to come. They're going to come.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, again, we are looking here at hundreds of thousands of dollars, but over that time, you've also accumulated a lot of credit card debt across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 credit cards. Let's go at them together. Okay? We need to see that, acknowledge, and move on. We'll see how. Number 1, US Bank, $764. Next. Another credit card, $848. Capital One, $2,577. Apple Card, $3,889. Bank of America, $5,318. Total credit card debt today, $13,396. 2 closed, 3 racking interests at the 30%. You've been managing minimum payments across 4 of those, totaling $460 to help protect your credit score. You haven't increased those balances. You're just using your checking account right now. How do you feel about that?
So yeah, once everything happened, I was in the process of kind of moving, so I had to pay for some moving costs, moving furniture and whatnot. So it definitely dipped into the credit cards quite a bit. I mean, I had already had a balance prior to everything happening, but then that just kind of obviously didn't make it a lot any better. So yeah, credit cards got started racking up, and I just been trying to maintain the minimum payments, but with those interest rates, it's not really gonna do anything. So
It's not doing anything. Now, what's crazy about you is you're also falling under the trap of excessive consumerism. Looking at how you spend your money, I mean, in some ways I can understand because you're working 80 hours 80 hours a week. But your statements every single day between 3 and 4 payments made into either outside food components or vending machines or expensive subscriptions, the Netflix and so on of the world. Let's look at some of the best ones that you guys use. Smoothie King, 15, 23, 27, 29. Those I can understand. Those are some of your lunch and so on. But my friend, there are some other ones that are pretty crazy, like $50, $60 restaurants like Commonwealth and so on. Are you inviting the world when you come to dinners? What's going on? Because you're bowling on pretty big ones. The hookah as well at 36, 4 or 5 times last month. What's going on here? You're spending all of your money. I mean, I have a total for you. You will see in a minute how much you're spending on things that are not doing anything.
yeah,
What's going on? I barely see any grocery expenses here.
yeah. I like to think of myself as somewhat of a foodie. I like to try new restaurants. I like to try to eat, good food. But it became a self-care thing, and it became kind of a masking thing. I'm dealing with a lot of things, obviously, that I don't want to help consume me, mentally. So eating out and enjoying some good food is a comforting thing for me. And so I spend a lot of money on it. It's kind of a Band-Aid, a quick fix, if you would say, but it's definitely not helping my financial situation, obviously.
And that leads you, despite having, as we mentioned, your housing is good, your transportation is good for the most part, you're paying minimum payments. Last month, you've saved $112. At 30 years old, it's leading you to nowhere, Do you feel like you are in the mindset today for a drastic change? Because it's the only thing that's going to save you.
I feel like at this point I have to be.
Yeah.
I have to get myself in a mind space of I have to do whatever is necessary to get out of the situation that I'm in.
Right now, of interest per month, if I was to sum, assuming debt that you have not been paying, you're also stacking on 1,266 per month of interest. That's the reality of your situation, my friend. I am about to present you recommendations that are going to completely change your life. Okay? What I want to tell you is, in a way, assuming that you had not made all those decisions in the past, you could, as a single male, afford this life.
Right.
But all of the baggage that you're carrying is not allowing you in this anymore, at least not for now. We need to completely rebuild yourself. And the biggest thing too is that I'm saying you saved $110, but that's looking at the deposit last month. Robinhood, coins, you've been depleting actually your savings, so you're not saving money.
At all.
So what do you have in front of you? Your cards are maxed out. You have $400. You're working 80 hours a week. That's it. The red alarm needs to rise. Let's see what that means as we transition together into the money case. All right, and we are back here for the money case. I want to bring to your eyes something that sometimes I believe a lot of people are missing the perception on because, we're using cards left and right. But I want to bring to your eyes the total amount of money that you're spending on things that do not bring you any form of benefits other than a short-term satisfaction that 3 days later you have completely forgotten about. And today are leading you to absolutely not save any money, if not putting you further into debt and into financial insecurity. My friend, per month today, I've calculated the amount of money that you're spending on what I refer to as the sheet counter. not $300. I mean, we wish it was that. It's not $600. You know, it's not $900. But it's $1,473 per month of money that is not bringing you anywhere. Look at this amount of money. How does that feel when I show you this?
It hits a lot harder for sure. This just paints a brighter picture of the terrible financial decisions I make.
I'm just going to give you here $500. Okay? This is 1/3 of what you're spending on a monthly basis on shit.
This is
I want
just
you to
1/3.
realize it. Yeah, this is 1/3. This action is what you're doing right now every month. Just throw it to the garbage. This, my friend, is your future. It's the future of potentially you having a family, a stable situation, and not just losing on pretty much all of those aspects. The biggest thing is that for the most part, you've been able to have an education that sustains employment, where hopefully you're going to be able to thrive in ways. But man, this combined with interest, it's thousands and thousands of dollars that are being wasted. We can't have this anymore. I mean, if you continue like this, you have what? Maybe 1 month, 2 months ahead of you. Then what is it? It's maxed out cards. It's nothing else. I mean, it's gone. It's over. I have a solution for you. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Let's do it. Now, let me be straightforward with you. Looking at the way I would rate your financial situation right now is a mayday. So it's one of the most critical aspects because you have nobody you can rely on. And you've already maxed out all of the opportunities that exist except for one. And the one that I'm referring to, my friend, is bankruptcy. So what you going to do? Follow along with me, and don't worry about the concept of which. I know there is a pride aspect, but you will be surprised. Some of the biggest fortune in this world have vowed for bankruptcy so many times. It is a service, it's a tool, somehow it has stigma to it. But I've had countless of people that have decided to take on this action and today find themselves in very financial situations. Let me walk you through the idea of it. What you're going to have to do right now is stop every form of payment that exists. You stop all your payments on your minimum cards, on your credit cards. You're stopping every single payment. Everyone, except for your rent. Okay?
Even on the car? Or
Even on the car. What you're going to do is you're going to try and get to $2,000 as fast as humanly possible. This is going to be the fees that are going to be requested and required by you, by a bankruptcy lawyer, for you to go through that exercise. You're going to file for what is referred to as Chapter 7. Chapter 7 takes care of unsecured debt when the creditor, when the person is not able to pay back for your debt, which is your scenario. You can't. You can't do it. They're going to look into everything, into the value of your car, how much you own on your car, how much you own on that personal debt, how much you own on those credit cards. Where do you spend your money? How do you spend it? And for the most part, I give you very high probability of chances that you're going to get approved for it. The process takes about 6 months. The bankruptcy lawyer is going to flow you through it to the point at which at some point you're going to have to go through some trainings and participations and so on, but that's worth your time. It's no problem. You're going to have to present your case to a judge, or at least the lawyer will do, and you have to confirm pretty much what you will be trained on by the lawyer to say. You literally have to say exactly what they tell you. I'm expecting all of your unsecured debt is going to wipe out. So you're turning a page on your credit card debt. You're about to lose the BMW. On your personal loans. The last one that's going to always stick for the most part, very difficult to fight in the bankruptcy, still possible but difficult, is your student debt. What you're doing is you're pressing reset. What you need to do is, I don't think they will grant you the chance to keep the BMW. It is considered as an unnecessary luxury vehicle. So you're going to lose that. But my friend, I'm going to be frank and fully transparent with you. Almost every financial decisions that you've taken today has been a negative one. So we need to wipe all of that. And you're in one of the very few countries that give you that chance. So take advantage of it. Your credit score is going to dump to hell, like the 400s of the world, okay? For the next 10 years or so, you're going to find difficulties in applying to credit cards, applying for a mortgage, applying for things like that. It's perfectly fine, actually. It fades. The most impacts takes place during the first couple of years, and then progressively it fades, okay? You're going to have to go through that momentum, but let's be honest. You've made a $105,000 decision that somehow you have to pay for. So if you don't pay it in dollars amount, you're being penalized on your credit score. That's just the way the game is, okay? So you become what is referred to as a cash person. All transactions, for the most part, for the next couple of years are going to have to come from cash operations, like your checking account as you've been operating. Some credit cards may start to bring you back into the game 3 to 4 years from now. For now, I want you to lay low and lay stable. Upon calculating all your needs, right now, today, you sum to $3,834. That's your rent, that's your car, that's some of your gas, your communication, and so on. It is absolutely unacceptable that you're spending $1,500 per month today on restaurants and shit. The foodie needs to disappear for 2 to 3 years from today. Every single meal is going to be with the focus of you rebuilding your financial foundations. The $35 hookah is probably worth tens of thousands of dollars to you within the next couple of decades. Maybe not 10, but thousands of dollars to you in the next couple of decades. So think as the person that is 10 years older than you today, looking at you and saying, yeah, cool, my friend, the hookah that you had 3 weeks ago, do you remember it? Right? The Wendy's or the Skinny Fats or all the restaurants and so on. It's an immediate satisfaction that you, at the time, I understand, can justify because of everything that you've been going through. But that was the past, Casey. It's no longer you. You can't be that person. So you're going to go through that exercise. You're going to downgrade your lifestyle. Okay? Your goal right now is to grind as much as you can. And I don't know if family can help for you, at least for the next couple months. Maybe get I don't know if this is possible, depending on the financial situation of your mother. Maybe a $6,000 to $7,000 family loan, although you have to be very confident. Family and money is always, it's heated waters, okay? But that, I want you to buy everything cash. Debt is no longer an option to you. It no longer exists, at least for the next couple of years. So you, at some point, were a biker, okay? I don't know what's your situation with that, but motorcycles, although, I would never recommend anyone to get one, but it's an affordable way of transportation. So maybe for a couple months, you buy cash, a cheap mode of transportation that allows you the chance to go and make money until you stack up $6,000 to $8,000, and you forget about all the Mercedes, BMW, and so on. No. Are we kidding? This is a joke. You're going to buy yourself a Toyota, a Honda, a Mitsubishi, and we're going to humble down to where everything is cash. Your life is going to become cash. I am giving you $50 per month for you to have fun. I should give you $0. But I still realize that at 30 years old, you want to engage in the social life. So if you want to do the hookah once or twice a month, it's part of your budget, it's up to you. Try and manage ways and benefit from things that are going to be free that still allows you to live a life. Okay, I don't want to shut down everything, but today you've come to the last door. It's the last frontier. You're about to open the door, press reset, and you're going to be good. You're going to have to rebuild your deck of cards. Okay? Money on checking account, emergency fund, starting on a Roth IRA. Forget about any form of freaking investments. Upon understanding the details of the contract, you have little legal recourse or rescue towards the scam that you've fallen into. Give yourself some time. I wouldn't engage with them anymore. It's like a bad girlfriend or an ex-girlfriend that you're constantly chasing because you're regretting that relationship. Them, they got you good. Forget about it for a while. We'll be back to them in a couple of years, though. Don't worry about it. We'll make sure that those guys, get their karma in a way. Hopefully, you're able to rebuild a strong financial situation that you can go back to that case, okay? Hopefully, it takes less than 7 years for you to get back to them. So you have a case, assuming you've protected on the contract. But for now, let that page turn. Bypass this. Bypass the financial trauma and build yourself in a way that you now are in full control of your life. So you're not doing good. You're actually doing bad. But you're going to be okay. Do it. Apply exactly what I'm going to put for paper to you. And you are going to be okay. Do you shake my hand? Let's do it. Any final words as we wrap up our discussion?
I just want to thank you. This has been really insightful. It's really opened my eyes, seeing the numbers, seeing the physical aspect of the money that I've just been pouring in the trash for the last years. And so I think this has helped me kind of get in that mind space of this is the only option I have, and it's time to hit reset, like you said. It's time to turn the page, and, with growth doesn't come uncomfortability. So I got to do what I got to do.
Let's do it. Thank you so much, Casey, for coming on the show. Thank you guys for following along as we dive into so many different varieties of stories. We invite you to like and subscribe. Until then, I see you next time. À bientôt.